Former President Barack Obama has sent a message to black men in America for apparently not standing up enough for what he believes they should support or we should support, which is Kamala Harris. So let's take a listen to what he has to say and give him an appropriate response.
Now, I also want to say that that seems to be more pronounced with the brothers. So if you don't mind, just for a second, I'm going to speak to y'all directly and say that when you have a choice that is this clear, when on the one hand you have somebody who grew up like you, knows you, went to college with you, understands the struggles and pain and joy that comes from those experiences, who's had to work harder and do more and overcome and achieves the second highest office in the land and is putting forward concrete proposals to directly address the things that are vital in our neighborhoods and our communities, from housing to making sure that our mothers, and our fathers, and our grandparents can afford medicine, and making sure that we are dealing with prices that are too high and rents that are too high, and are committed to making sure that we maintain the Affordable Care Act, so everybody's got health care, and cares about things like education and entrepreneurship in our neighborhoods. And that's on one side. And on the other side, you have someone who has consistently shown disregard, not just for the communities, but for you as a person. And you're thinking about sitting out? But, you know, because of Putin, and you're coming up with all kinds of reasons and excuses. I've got a problem with that because part of it makes me think, and I'm speaking to men directly, part of it makes me think that, well, you just aren't feeling the idea of having a woman as president. And you're coming up with other alternatives and other reasons for that. And I think anybody you are talking to in a barbershop, anybody you are talking to in your house, in your family, at church, who is coming with that kind of attitude, I think you have to ask them, well, how can that be? Because the women in our lives have been getting our backs this entire time. They've been raising us and working and having our backs. And when we get in trouble and the system's not working for us, they're the ones who are out there marching and protesting. And so now you're thinking about sitting out or even supporting somebody who has a history of denigrating you because you think that's a sign of strength, because that's what being a man is, putting women down. That's not acceptable. That's not, this shouldn't even be a question.
Okay. Enough of him. enough of him. So, Mr. Obama took the time to make some notes. Had some expectation here that you would be firing off, so I wanted to go ahead and have the pen and paper ready. So, his argument essentially here is apparently it's common knowledge that black men are not coming out in abundance for Kamala Harris. Not Kamala, we're going to call her Kamala Harris. And so he throws out some reasons why he thinks that is. But beforehand, he goes on to say something along the lines of, and he's talking to black men. So I'm going to respond to him as that a person who's grown up in the United States of America, who's very familiar with the black man experience in America in its essence, for what it actually is. And he says that you have an option of somebody who grew up like you, who knows you, who understands your struggles, who's worked harder and done more to overcome, who's putting forward concrete proposals and cares about education and entrepreneurship, and you're thinking about sitting out. Yes, I'm absolutely 110% sitting out. I don't have a dog in the fight. I don't have a horse in the race. And the fact is, for people like myself, it's not. It's a lose lose. It really is. Sitting out is going to be your best option for black men. That's how I see it. That's how I'm calling it. Sit out. Right? There's no real courting of your or my vote going on either side. Your participation has been presumed and taken advantage of by the Democratic Party for quite a while now. And there is no, all this about somebody knowing you. Let's get something straight about Kamala Harris. She knows nothing of the black man experience in America. Her husband is not a black man. She herself has never identified as black. She herself has a track record of locking up black children, disrupting black families for truancy, and locking up parents during her time in California. She has sacrificed black people at every turn in order for her to advance in her career. That is the fact. All you have to do is go and look at her record. That is the actual fact on the ground, sir. And we are far beyond, in this point in time, this notion that because somebody shares your, what you guys call race, I say I'm part of the human race, right? So let's play your game, okay? If someone looks like you, and as you say, even you, President Obama, former President Obama, you don't know about the black male experience in America. You haven't lived it, right? Your whole situation, you got something going on that's unique to you, like many of us, but you don't know about the black struggle, bro. You don't. And during your own presidency, you didn't prioritize black male issues. You didn't. You can talk this, that, and the third, but you didn't. So now you guys are frantic and running, and you're looking to come out and have a segment of the population who you've always taken for granted, right? For at least the last 50 to 80 years, you've taken that vote for granted. And thank God that there's enough of us who are saying, listen, this is no longer acceptable. There's a better route. There's a better option, right? Unless we're going to get something, we're going to just pull out of this whole fiasco. It's a dog and pony show. And on the list of those to receive benefits for putting any president in position right now, we're at the bottom if we're on it. Black men, you're on the bottom if you're on it of any list to give people anything. That's the actual fact. Then he goes on to insinuate that if you're not interested in voting for one Kamala Harris, it must be because you're not feeling having a woman as a president, right? He wants to tap into some misogyny now and say, well, if you don't like her, it's because she's a woman. No, sir, I don't like her because she's a demon. Her policies are democratic. That's what they have always been. And the woman can scarcely answer a question without yucking it up. Wearing Chuck Taylors and claiming to eat hot sauce, and now you're listening to certain types of music and all this kind of stuff doesn't make you black. There's more to the black experience than that, and especially if you're going to go black male. What would not only her, any woman, right? It's not a woman-male issue, to be clear. But at the same time, for you to presume that because she's female and black, that she knows or that she has a vested interest, where's the record that shows that? It's not you come out and you just say whatever it is you want to say. So we're just supposed to be like, oh yeah, you're very eloquent and great. Let's just do whatever you say, irrespective of what you actually do and have done until now. There's nothing in the record that indicates we should trust you or her to present anything other than lies, placating, politicking, right? It's a disgrace. And you're pretty good at playing the game, Mr. Obama, and speaking and trying to form a rapport, a working rapport with your audiences across multiple spectrums. Unfortunately, she isn't, right? And that's on her, right? If you got Sleepy Joe and you got her as the best that you guys can put forward in your party, you guys need to take care of yourselves internally. And this whole Trump thing, like, okay, it looks like they're going to pull that off as far as the Republicans, but that's going to be, okay, you got one more of those, and then that's the best you got, right? The whole thing is ridiculous. The fact that these are the best of 300, 400 something million of us, these are the most capable and competent amongst us, I refuse to believe that. I really do. So I don't really see it as a Trump Kamala issue. I see it as it's time for change issue. And I'm happy to hear that black men are sitting out. Black men are not in support of her. There are some who are pro-Trump. I don't really think you'll find a whole lot of grace in that area either. You may be better off there slightly than with Kamala. I really don't know. I really don't care. Like I said, for me, I don't have a vested interest on either side. Best thing I can do is whatever it is that I'm doing to advance myself, my agenda, and yes, cooperate with others. Yes, seek to provoke change and be involved with change. But voting for either one of these two, as for me and mine, no, it's not an option. I'm not going to pick my poison. I'm going to pick a health food option, not poison. Thank you. It was a good try, Mr. Obama, and I'm glad it was a fail, not only in my sight, but in the sight of many, not only black men, but people in general. It was a poor ploy, it was a gallant effort, though. But I reject your claims. It had nothing to do with disliking her because of her ethnicity. No, she doesn't know the black experience. You don't know the black experience, the black man experience. I could say that you have some degree of it, and you've definitely had uh, what Starr calls the nigga wake up call once or twice when you were in the White House, um, when you forgot, right, how it is that society sees you from time to time, and then especially in the halls of power. You're not a brother there, right? And perhaps now you figure that out. But not that any of that matters, right? You're not running on any kind of a humanistic agenda. You guys are running on a technocratic agenda, right? An oligarchical agenda, a fascist agenda. And this is all just fairy dust you're sprinkling in hopes to blind the eyes of the public. And I, for one, am glad that it was a fail. I hope to see more fails. I look forward to calling more fails. And I look forward to being a wind, a gust that eliminates the fairy dust.